Hello traders, welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 271. You know what we're gonna do, just jump straight into the market, have a look what happened this week and what we can expect for the upcoming week. It was a pretty nice and volatile week. Our overall forecasts from last week played out pretty nicely, so let's jump in and see what we can expect for the upcoming one. Starting with the economic calendar for next week, so Monday, Japanese bank holiday, and we don't have any news at all on Monday, so probably it's gonna be a little bit slowish. Then on Tuesday, we have PPI, beautiful news release to potentially bring in some volume, but then the highlight of this week is the US CPI, okay? Because right now there is so much also uncertainty going on. For example, NFP released on Friday was very good. A lot more jobs were created. You see the dollar extremely appreciate in value, and right now pretty much investors are very curious about inflation. So is it actually going down? Is it going up? What would then that mean for the interest rates that we're gonna pretty much see a press conference within the last week of January? Okay, so CPI is absolutely crucial. And then on Thursday we have Aussie news, GBP news, and also retail sales here for the US dollar. And then Friday we end up with just retail sales for the pound. So it looks like a pretty nice week, but we really have to be waiting for that Wednesday for the CPI, because potentially Tuesday could make a move, but it's not going to be the move of the week. And then Wednesday is going to introduce all the volume, and then potentially Thursday and Friday can continue following through. Okay, so it looks like a very good week. Just be aware of that CPI. Make sure to really push yourself to actually wait for the news release to be out and then adapt with whatever happens afterwards. Before I get into the analysis, make sure to click the first link in the description. I am running the Trading Fanatics community. It's so much value inside. We have 6,000 members. It's all about value. And not to say that the course that I have included here is absolutely incredible. So make sure to join us there. All right, as usual, starting with the DXY, of course, we are currently having a bullish market. We had that weekly bullish imbalance that was created a couple of weeks ago. But you can see we didn't really push into it. We kind of stopped very close to it, and then the market still ended up expanding higher very nicely. So this area here still remains that imbalance together with this order block. But again, as we're running away from it, would it make sense for the market to reverse all the way down right now? Not really. Dropping onto the daily time frame, is there something on the daily to push the market higher? Well, it was quite tricky, honestly, this week. We kind of had a volatile week, but it was very tricky. Like at first, as we had Monday print and then Tuesday close, we had this daily bearish imbalance. And then at that time, I thought, well, we could be right now traveling towards that weekly. And I was sell bias on Wednesday. But then Wednesday pushed up, printed forwardly bullish order flow. And then I became bullish bias, targeting the highs, which is exactly what happened on Friday's NFP. So right now we're taking liquidity above this high, and we have this daily zone that is very nicely looking for a potential pullback and then a continuation higher from there. Now, are we going to have another daily bullish imbalance to be created here after Monday closes? This is something that we really have to wait and see. And then on the forward time frame, also not looking that bad. You can see the market is fully bullish. We're also having this forwardly bullish imbalance. So I'm gonna have two scenarios. I'm gonna keep staying with the longs because the DXY just keeps appreciating in value. Again, the job market, the labor market is very strong. NFP released, I think, 250 jobs on the recent NFP, so that is very good, very bullish for the dollar. Inflation is also okay, so it looks very good. Looks very good for the dollar. So pretty much a pullback into that forwardly imbalance for a continuation higher, also retest of that very recent break of structure here. If this forwardly imbalance fails, then that could potentially drive us into the daily. And then as we tap into the daily, then of course we really have to wait and see, is it of course going to start pushing higher once again, or is it going to react and start pushing lower towards the weekly? They're all like always, there are so many scenarios. This is why it's all potentials as well. Make sure to check my latest video that I released yesterday. So that is the DXY. That's the DXY. I'm overall bullish bias. Those are the two zones that I'm going to be looking for longs. If the first one fails, I'm going to trade short into the daily one. If the first one holds, of course, we can then look to target new highs. The market is a little bit high though, taking that daily liquidity. So I would definitely love to see a daily pullback. That would be great. But if the bullish pressure maintains, I'm definitely going with the longs, because weekly bullish, daily bullish, forwardly bullish, it's just the buyers are in control. So let's see if it goes higher. Euro USD, nice selling pressure as well. So a very nice weekly bearish candle again, stopping exactly, taking the liquidity below the previous weekly low. So it looks like to me in a very massive lower low, especially even if you look at on the weekly time frame, we had this push, we had this pullback, and right now we're just pushing and staying at a new lower low. It kind of does make me feel like we could get some sort of a pullback, but again, let's not forecast anything like this. Taking the liquidity here now, do we have something on the daily? Well, we do have it all the way up here, which is something that I don't like. I wouldn't really look for the market to pull back all the way up here and still expect a reversal. What I would definitely love to see on EU is a new daily bearish imbalance to be created on Monday. So in order for that to happen, the market must not cross this line here. Where is my invalidation line? Yeah, it doesn't matter. If the market actually opens and crosses above this line, and this is going to prevent a new daily bearish imbalance from forming, which to me is actually going to be a more bullish sign, maybe than getting us into the upper one. All right, so hopefully Monday does not top this invalidation line. Now, of course, is there then something on the volatile time frame to potentially push price lower? Unlike the DXY, we don't have it on EU, right? You can see, for example, here we closed no volatile bearish imbalances. We have this tiny little one that I'm probably not even going to draw because I don't trade such little ones. I do not like EU right now. Now, if you did take some shorts on EU this week, absolutely beautiful. It first again looked a little bit bullish, but then we shifted bearish with this breakaway gap, which didn't get retested, and then we pushed lower again, and we had all of this choppiness waiting for NFP, and then just NFP brought us into the targets. I didn't take any trades on EU. Nothing was provided according to my setups. So currently, I don't like where it is. It's taking liquidity. It's at a massive lower low. We're going to need some pullback, or we're going to need the daily bearish imbalance. If Monday forms a daily bearish imbalance, I will definitely be interested for shorts. But if you start having some massive bullish pressure on Monday, then I will definitely be careful and just wait for the CPI. So Euro USD getting again into, for example, Monday and Tuesday, it's not very interesting for me. Gonna be waiting for Monday to close on the daily, see how it closes, see if it forms a daily imbalance, and then I'm gonna trade it, because right now it's not in a good positioning to be doing anything. There is nothing on the 1 hourly, there is nothing on the 4 hourly, nothing on the daily, so we gotta wait. If you're looking to trade something right now, it's probably a good idea to be trading the pound. Fundamentally, it's getting very weak. Borrowing costs are rising. The UK is getting into a little bit of a trouble. So you can see that within the pound, it's just massively flushing. So weekly time frame, absolutely bombastic candle going to the downside. Here it was kind of similar. We had this bearish imbalance that looked like it got flipped with a bullish one, right? But just then Wednesday massively broke it and inverted it, and then since then it has been very nicely bearish. Now we do have, of course, this daily bearish imbalance that is a little bit above, aligning with the overall order block here, which looks like a very good, this is usually a very good shorting zone. But look at how the market is running away from it. So would it make sense for it to pull back all the way up? Definitely could. Okay. But then, of course, how do you know if it's gonna pull back all the way up? You gotta drop to the 4-hourly time frame and ask, is there something to push price lower on the 4-hourly? Well, similar to EU, we have this tiny little bit of a 4-hourly bearish imbalance. Together, of course, with your order block here, together with your overall buy to sell area, right? So I'm gonna give you two scenarios on this one, just because I'm heavily bearish on the pound and it wouldn't make sense to go long. Pull back into the zone, look for shorts, but essentially look for your entry models. Of course, I'm not giving entry models here because it wouldn't make sense, right? I do give entry models when the zones are tapped. And of course, that is reserved for my private program, of course. But if, of course, look for your entry models here. If it gives shorts, great. But if the market comes in and pretty much invalidates this one, all right, or just reacts and then breaks the reaction, then potentially look for a 4-hourly order flow to guide you into the upper daily. And then as it gets into the daily, then of course, this is way too far in time for me to say, okay, then from here it's going to go down, because I have no idea. We're going to have CPI come out as well. That can definitely make the move. The market could also just end up chopping into CPI and then do something crazy. We just don't know. This is how I look at it right now. I'm overall bearish bias. Are we going to push from this 4-hourly zone, or are we going to fail the 4-hourly zone to pull us back into the daily? Could we have a daily bearish imbalance to be created? Could be, but the chance here is a little bit lower because the invalidation line is just very close to current price. So maybe that is not going to happen, but let's see. Bearish bias on GU, not the cleanest zones, sitting at a very massive lower low. Gotta be looking for some sort of a pullback and then potentially try to sell it from a lower high. Our bias on AU played out beautifully this week. Unfortunately, I got some members actually capitalizing on these trades, especially during Asia. Weekly imbalance being tapped, absolutely beautiful single rejection here. The market just taps and goes. Dropping onto the daily time frame, tapping into that weekly zone, we had a little bit of a daily bullish imbalance here that pretty much failed on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday were very nice shorts. Now, if you study this, how we exited here, that weekly imbalance was with this hourly bearish one, which was a breakery gap. And here, actually, we had a webinar on Thursday. We broke down all the opportunities that we could have taken here. And there were really two good ones. And actually, one was a stop loss, right? Because you can see like we're starting to exit, but the market got all choppy. It stopped forming forward imbalances. It started chopping and chopping and chopping and like taking liquidity. And then pretty much until NFP actually made the very big move. Okay, so currently on the daily time frame, we also have, for example, this that we can drop, but that is very far away, right? So we wouldn't really look for it to pull back to. I would once again be looking for the Monday's candle to close to see if we're gonna have a new daily bearish imbalance, because that is gonna be very nice. We're also having, for example, this daily order block to the left that is looking like a very nice resistance area as well. And on the hourly time frame, do we have something? We do have this hourly bearish imbalance, suggesting, of course, that the sellers are fully in control. But if you just ask about the positioning of price, it's currently at a lower low. Do you want to sell it? No, it's too low. Do you want to buy it? No, you don't want to be buying the bottom. You don't want to be trying to do that. So currently, is there something we can do? No, we gotta wait for the market to pull back into this hourly zone, give us the entry model, or form a new daily bearish imbalance, then of course give us an entry model from there. And if everything fails, then we're gonna be looking for the market to pull back into this daily order block and maybe potentially some of these zones up here. So that's my AU. Bearish bias, of course, the only zone that we have right now is this. And of course, if Monday closes and makes a daily bearish imbalance, that I would be very curious for shorts. So let's see if that happens. NZUSD, very similar setup as well. We have that weekly imbalance. The market came, it first actually tapped it here, but right now it came to liquidate that previous weekly high and then actually flushed afterwards. Similar on the daily, like we came in a little bit bullish, which is always something that kind of worries me. I don't like such strong pullbacks that actually make opposing imbalances. But then of course that was quickly flipped. We had a new daily bearish here. So currently we're bearish, taking liquidity and resting at the lower low. The same thing with AU remains. If I do see a daily bearish imbalance to be created after Monday closes, I will definitely be looking for shorts. And currently, of course, the kind of this zone that we can work with is this hourly zone. And then, yeah, that's it. That's kind of it. We have, of course, this kind of break and retest. You can refine it to the order block here, or you can take it the whole buy to sell zone, right? Let's see. I do like AU a little bit more. So again, this one is also sell bias. It's just that it's currently at a very massive lower low. And those are the places that you don't necessarily want to sell. Like, for example, currently we are at such a place, just lower lows. And the market tends to pull back after lower lows. You know that? So let's wait for some sort of a pullback to establish a lower high. And then from there, bearish order flow to sell it. Now, you're always going to need the zone. So is it going to be this hourly zone? Is it going to be a new daily zone being created? Let's see. Okay. But overall, bearish bias. Let's see how it goes. Now, my bias on gold played out beautifully this week, but it was just very choppy, right? So currently, again, on the weekly time frame, we have been chopped up for around 5 weeks. Starting to pick up some bullish momentum, so let's see if that is going to persist. Now, the main thing that we worked with this week is this daily bullish imbalance and this daily bullish order block here that beautifully got respected. And then pretty much the overall target was this high, all right? And then potentially, I think there was something here on the hourly time frame. And you can see we're kind of slowly driving towards there. No daily bullish imbalance was created. Hopefully, maybe Monday is going to create a new one here. I would definitely love this. But then we dropped to the hourly time frame, and like since we tapped here, we came in with a bearish one, and then it chop, and you can see absolutely no 4-hourly bullish imbalance within this whole push up, right? So I currently trade mainly with daily and hourly because I'm focused on futures right now to pretty much scalp them and reserve my focus for the New York Stock Exchange. I currently trade Forex only with clear hourly and daily zones. And of course, for gold, I was very bullish, but I didn't get a single daily or hourly zone to actually long it. All right. Of course, here, after we tapped that daily, it got a little bit messy, and then there was some 1 hourly zones. But when you're following daily or choppy, also the 1 hourly time frame is not gonna make a lot of sense, right? So for example, here, oh, we're very massively pushing. Let's try to long it. Oh, we're pushing down. Then it consolidates. Then, whoa, all right, we're going up. You try to long it. Ah, we're going down. Then it consolidates again. And then, yeah, it starts slowly going up, but it's just very hard to get in. And that's okay. I don't care because I just didn't get my setup. The market, of course, this week, kind of the bias that we had within my community as well was spot on, but somehow we just couldn't manage to find like our textbook setups. So yeah, currently on gold, like there are just no zones. Like there is no daily zone, there are no 4 hourly zones. So I have no, like within this whole push up, I have no zone to work with. And even right now, there is nothing on the daily, there is nothing on the 4 hourly. So I don't have any zones to put to say, okay, we can pull back here and go long from, which really sucks. So I'm just gonna wait for something to form. That's gold, unfortunately. Is it gonna like take some liquidity down and then start forming bullish zones like this? That could be all right. Is it going to just start straight expanding higher and print bullish zones like this? That will be perfectly fine as well. Is it going to massively start printing bearish zones and getting us back into the range? That is also going to be fine. I don't know what is going to happen and I don't need to. So again, guys, for gold, I'm sorry, but I have nothing to say. Let's see. Right now, of course, the next major liquidity target is going to be this daily high. Before that, of course, we had, for example, this volatile zone that was one of the targets. Then we took out this high right here, which is pretty much where we ended up the week. So let's see if we do continue with some bullish order flow. I will definitely look to target that high. But if we start kind of coming back into the range, you can see here we have so many flat lows to be taken as liquidity. So also let's wait for CPI because for gold, that's going to be huge. USD there was a very quick and nice trade that some of my community members took. It didn't offer amazing risk to reward, but it was pretty much again from that weekly imbalance, then just targeting the high. And yeah, you can see an overall choppy week. We're resting at a very big high right now, once again, taking liquidity here. Not amazing positioning coming into next week. And then you can see also on the daily time frame, no zones, choppiness, very slow, very wicky. It's probably waiting for something, and then we drop to the 4-hourly time frame and goddamn, it's not looking good. So yeah, especially this here, this piece of price action, it's just no. So I mean, I'm just gonna stop here. I'm gonna keep it short. I have nothing to say about UJ. This weekly zone is tapped, so I'm not looking at it anymore. I wouldn't look for the market to pull back into it and look for longs. If it actually starts getting bearish, then I could actually target this weekly zone. All right. But it's not bearish yet. On the daily time frame, there is nothing to work with. On the 4-hourly time frame, there is absolutely nothing to work with. The market is kind of just sweeping highs, going back down, sweeping highs, going back down. There is no order flow. There is no momentum. There is no trend. So guess what? I have nothing to do. Just gonna wait for this one to do something. Hopefully CPI is gonna shake it out, and then I'm gonna check it back. Well, USD being so choppy, let's check out the Euro Yen, how it's doing. It's probably gonna be more linked to Euro USD right now, being a little bit more bearish. We're tapping into that weekly bullish. We reacted bullish. We actually printed even a daily bullish imbalance, which to me looks like a very big bullish signal, right? Candle 1, candle 2 kind of responded a little bit, but then Friday's NFP started guiding it lower, which to me right now actually unlocks this level. Because if this daily bullish push here, this daily bullish order flow range is failing, then we're actually going to be attacking the low, which also means that this weekly zone is not going to be holding, which also then means we could even go a little bit further and target this weekly reaction area. All right. Dropping onto the 4-hourly time frame. Whoa, okay, this actually looks like this is the reaction I want, right? Checking out the chart, starting to make sense, and then you drop to your, for example, the 4-hourly time frame, and damn, look at that beautiful push lower with a 4-hourly imbalance. Very beautiful push for a very nice pullback. It's nothing to stop price towards this low. So goddamn, this looks like a good setup if it pulls us back into this 4-hourly time frame imbalance, and then to push us into the liquidity. All right. Looks like a good setup. So for the EJ fans, I think you might have something. To me, it just looks pretty good. It looks very good, even very good to be true, but let's see how it works. I wouldn't be surprised if the market just doesn't open during Asia and just goes for the liquidity, because the market is going to make it hard for you to get in, right? That's what it usually does. And again, yeah, pretty much there is nothing else for the market to react from here. So the only place that it could potentially go is this low. But of course, hey, keep an open mind. The market could pull back, fail this fall, and then of course start reversing to take the buy side liquidity. So always keep two scenarios in mind, and of course listen to your entry models. But this, to me, even for the start of the week, it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, it's a Bank of Japan holiday on Monday, so be careful with the volatility. Now, with the British pound being extremely weak, I would expect GJ to also be super weak. We're tapping into this weekly bullish. That can give us like some sort of a reaction. Dropping onto the daily time frame, we actually tapped it here on Thursday, and then Friday, actually, it's kind of disregarding it. Very bearish, right? You can see the daily time frame is printing 2 daily bearish imbalances, all right, which suggests that the volume is heavily bearish. But where are we currently? We are at a massive lower low. Right, massive lower low, tapping into weekly. I would absolutely appreciate if the market gives us some sort of a pullback, lower high, and then we can potentially short it. Is it gonna make a new daily imbalance after Monday closes? That would also be very nice to then potentially look for a pullback into it and potential shorts. Let's see if that's gonna happen. Dropping onto the hourly, also very nice. Like very nice hourly bearish imbalance to potentially look for a lower high here. Aligning also with this break and retest area to the left. I really do like it, right? I really like a trade like this. Pull back for a lower high. If the hourly time frame is going to persist, that is going to work out. And of course, your second scenario will be that the hourly time frame fails. Then that is going to open up to take out the liquidity above this high, which is where, of course, that daily imbalance is resting as well. All right. This is why I truly love imbalances, because the open of the imbalance, the thing that you're actually looking to get retested, is always like a high on a lower time frame. Like you see, here's the daily imbalance retest. It's perfectly aligning with the liquidity resting above these highs. This is a hourly imbalance retest. So if I go to the 50-minute time frame, it's going to be a perfect high to be taken as liquidity as well, right? So let's see how it goes. Those are my two scenarios. I would definitely prefer the shorts, but let's wait for a clear pullback and a very good entry model. All right, welcome to the indices part, starting with ES, which was profitable for me this week. A beautiful weekly bearish candle. NFP really gave some steam, but the bearish order flow even started from early this week. So where are we going right now? We're taking out this previous monthly low, all right? And then of course the next target is going to be this liquidity target, which is where I'm already preparing a lot to start buying some stocks, because currently we're 5% pullback, which is usually a very good place to buy. But as we start getting even further, it's always very nice. Like the last place that I bought was literally at this low, right? So you can see then the massive appreciation that you get. But of course, and this was a 10% pullback. So the closer we get to that, of course, this is why I'm kind of really loving the futures, because I have a big background with investing as well, that I do plan to start sharing more of, just to document my journey a little bit more there. So yeah, these things are designed to move up. So if you start getting like a 6, 7, 8, 10% pullback, usually this is where it finds a bottom. Now on the daily time frame, we're taking that liquidity. You can see again the main volume entered here on Friday, and then the main volume was on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I hesitated on a beautiful trade because it was my first day of trading. Then 2 days of a chop. Thursday was actually a bank holiday, and then Friday drives it home. What I would truly love to see once again on ES is a new daily imbalance to be created. So let's wait for Monday to close to see if we're going to have a new daily bearish imbalance. And then of course that is going to give us very nice context to pull back into this daily zone, and then to potentially even look further for these liquidity lows to be taken. We have this reaction area. This reaction area is already taken and did its move. So towards this low, there is nothing to stop price. If it's going to get bearish, beautifully we can trade into this low. And then of course we can drop to the hourly time frame. Yeah, we do have this hourly zone as well. I should delete this daily because that's not here yet. Hourly zone looks like it's already running away. Like the last few hours already ran away. I caught a beautiful short somewhere here on the move down. But yeah, so let's see. With indices, I usually don't do a lot of top-down analysis and a lot of macro outlooks, because I'm mainly focused on scalping it intra-session, right? But of course, right now, I would definitely want to see a daily bearish. I do think there's a very high chance we create a daily bearish imbalance, because the invalidation line is so high here, right? So the market We really have to see a lot of bias for the market to print such a massive bullish candle and invalidate the new daily bearish imbalance. So I would be looking for that daily bearish imbalance to form on Monday, and then after Tuesday we can start looking for the shorts, and then hopefully CPI is gonna dip the market very nicely so we can buy some stocks. All right, but currently bearish bias, but I'm not looking for anything immediate. Let's check out Nasdaq moving in tandem with the S&P 500 index. Now here in terms of liquidity, we're also taking these lows, and the next low is going to be this one here. Very nice weekly bearish candle dropping onto the daily time frame. Here we actually had here a daily bearish imbalance, which is very nice. I think we didn't have it on ES. Oh, we did have it. I missed that one. All right. That actually, yeah. This is something that I actually look for to get retested potentially on NFP and then look for shorts, but no, the market just dumped. All right. So we wouldn't really expect for the market to pull back all the way up towards that daily. So similar here to AS, I would definitely love to see a new daily bearish imbalance to be created in order to start shorting it. And then on the hourly time frame, sure, we do have this hourly bearish imbalance. The market didn't retest that. Right, and it's already looking like it wants to run away from it. So honestly, for like the beginning of the week for Monday, I am not gonna be looking for anything potentially. Anything that I'm gonna be looking for, of course, is a pullback, lower high, and then to potentially start seeing bearish pressure targeting these lows. Now, am I forecasting these lows? I think there are legit to be taken because we're starting to form lower highs on top, lower lows as well on the bottom. So if we do make this daily imbalance to pull back into it, then of course the only liquidity that is left is this very major low here, because that is the low that actually caused the market to really push higher. So then if this low is taken, then the market, we can start asking, okay, so is it time for right now to start reversing? Because again, when the market takes a low, it could reverse. Okay, so that's Nasdaq. Nothing much to say about it. I'm currently more bearish bias, of course, but you can see, for example, before the shorts, look at what we had here. This massive bullish push to maybe trick buyers to think the market's going to go up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we even get something like this week to pull us back into that daily. And then if the bearish order flow starts kicking in, you're actually going to be selling it from a very good position to be targeting lower highs. So let's see. Look at YM, the US 30 index. It's already down almost 8%, and guess what, it's already taking that liquidity here. Okay, so it's extremely bearish. It's having 2 weekly bearish imbalances. Actually, YM is a very nice index to be traded sometimes because it's a lot weaker, for example, than ES and Nasdaq, but a lot of times then it also tends to get choppy. It's a very 50-50 index, which is why I'm not really into it. A very massive Friday candle. I think we have a very high chance to have a daily bearish imbalance to be created after Monday closes. And then after this daily bearish imbalance is created, you're also going to have your order blocks. You're going to have your buy to sell zones for a potential pullback and a short. So that will be kind of the main opportunity that I will be looking for on the indices this week, but none of that has formed yet. So then, of course, we can drop to the hourly time frame, and you can see here as well a beautiful hourly bearish imbalance if the market wants to pull back into that, even one below. So I'm just going to take it as a bigger zone like this. This pullback into this overall zone could be very nice for potential shorts. So let's see, right? But with CPI just around the corner, I will definitely be careful on Monday. Then I would also be even careful on Tuesday, because Tuesday likely can consolidate in preparation for CPI. And then after CPI is when you can have, for example, 2 days of good price action with a lot of volume. Okay, so those are the indices. All are looking bearish. Now, what is going to happen and how is it going to develop? We are about to see. DAX has been a bit sketchy. So we have this weekly imbalance, but right now this weekly imbalance is being invalidated because we actually reacted here on that candle. And right now we're breaking the reaction. So it's actually looking bullish. It usually goes with the US stock market, but not always. Then dropping onto the daily time frame, what I didn't like is like these 3 days of massive chop. The only thing we have on the daily is this daily breakaway gap that it wouldn't make a lot of sense for the market to pull back all the way down. And then we dropped to the hourly time frame where it was an absolute mess. So super big mess. Do I have something to say about it right now? No. I'm not short biased. I'm not long biased. There are no zones to work with except from this daily zone that for me, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for it to pull back all the way down and then to start moving all the way up. Usually there would be a zone somewhere here to push the market higher, but not in this case. So what is going to happen with DAX? We are about to see, but what you can pretty much see within the price action is that it's absolutely uncertain. So don't try to force your opinion on the market. Don't try to go deep right now and say, "Ooh, 1 hourly time frame in this, but this failed, but that." But right now it's bearish and it's reacting, and the 50-minute is. Wait for clear markets. Wait for daily. Wait for quality time frame to get clear, and then you're gonna get your high probability setups. Okay. So for DAX, I have nothing to say. Just gonna wait 1 more week to maybe start getting a little bit cleaner, and then I can look into it. All right, to recap real quick, now we have the CPI, the US CPI on Wednesday. That is going to be the very major highlight of the month even, because coming after a very strong NFP data, the CPI is pretty much the next thing that investors are going to be looking for, and that is going to determine what is going to be happening pretty much even for the rest of the month potentially. But currently, the DXY is absolutely bullish, so I'm overall long bias on the DXY on the macro. But now, of course, on the intraday, we're gonna need to have some pullbacks. We have hourly, we have daily, we have even weekly zones. All right. So if the DXY is so bullish, then of course euro is bearish. I am mainly gonna be looking for most pairs to be forming a new daily bearish imbalance on Monday, and then potentially see how Tuesday, Wednesday pull back into that and what the CPI is gonna do. But bearish on euro, bearish on GU as well. Very weak instrument right now if you want to trade it. Aussie dollar and NZD dollar, they are a little bit way too low. They also do have their zones that we can look for. So of course, if you get some pullbacks, definitely look to short it. On gold, I'm just simply giving it time because it has absolutely 0 zones. Nothing on the daily and nothing on the hourly. Sure, it's pushing up, but I don't just need any push up. I need the push up with imbalances, with momentum, and with zones to be created. So gold, I'm going to be looking to trade it after CPI to potentially then see some sort of momentum. USD JPY, absolutely choppy. So also waiting for CPI to hopefully shake it out. EJ and GJ, beautiful opportunities, by the way, for shorts. So if EU and GU continue to drop and USD JPY continues to chop, I think potentially some short trades could come in on EJ and GJ. So maybe worth to have a look at them. And also indices, US indices, definitely bearish on them. We'll also be looking for a daily bearish imbalance to be created, hopefully, to give us that bearish bias. And on ES, I'm kind of forecasting this low here. It looks really juicy for this low to be taken. It is a little bit further away, but it could definitely happen. So let's see what CPI is going to do. And then, of course, the rest is the same. Nasdaq is also bearish. Daily and hourly imbalances are bearish. YM is the weakest, even with the weekly bearish imbalance, but it's already taking the liquidity. So that makes it a little bit sketchy. Is it going to start reacting? Is it going to continue flushing? Let's see. And DAX, just waiting for something to happen because it's absolutely choppy. So let me know down in the comments how you performed this first week of trading. Let me know what is your favorite setup going into next week. Let me know what you're going to be looking for. And yeah, just let me know anything in the comments. I appreciate you watching up until now, and talk to you in the next outlook.